morning, everybody, and welcome to our Chaplaincy and Spiritual Care with our Religion and Belief Forum Bitesize today, talking about the Passover and what it means. And to do this, I have with us today Paul Ashton, who is our Jewish Religion and Belief Forum member. So Paul, welcome. And could you explain to us today what Passover is all around?
Yes, well, overall Passover, it's a festival of the Jewish people. It has its foundations in the Torah, commonly known as the first five books of Moses. The Old Testament people may call it. We call it the Torah. And all our kind of traditions, if you're Orthodox, your halakha, your guidelines will stem from that, from the Torah. And Passover features a very central theme throughout the Torah. And really, the key message is it's the festival of freedom. And it's a festival where people make choices and they realise their degree of enslavement in life, and then practical methods and guidance on how to overcome these pressures. It's known as the Festival of Freedom. A lot of it is ritual is centred around it. Throughout the period, there's a commandment where you wouldn't have anything leavened from certain species of grain, so anything that's risen, so bread, cakes, etc. And we would eat, which people may be familiar with, matzah, which is unleavened bread. Unleavened bread has a very significant meaning behind it. It really represents the hidden pride and arrogance in people, the risen things, the internal rising of people's own egos. And that's why we reflect on this, and when we eat matzah, it's to think about how not to go down that path in life. That's one of the key messages. One of the central things we have is a ritual meal on the first night, or the first 2 nights of Passover. It's an 8-day festival if you're Orthodox, but the first day and the last day, or the first 2 days and the last 2 days, are religious restricted days in Judaism. But the first 2 days have a ritual meal where the whole family and community gather and would eat matzah, remember the story, and eat bitter herbs as well. Really remembering the exodus from Egypt, enslavement, and what that means to people. Now, the key message really for everybody, it's not just the Jewish people, it's for the whole world. And there's various forms of enslavement. There's enslavement in society, where we have slavery still present, and in ancient times. We have slavery within institutions and organisations and governments. Very importantly, we have slavery within ourselves. Our own characters, we enslave ourselves and we enslave others in the way we act. And it's realising the Festival of Freedom, it's realising the importance of freedoms of other people, whether that's religion, age, sexism, sexual orientation, etc. It's very important to realise the value of others. And this year it has a real message for all humanity. The big enslaver, the pharaoh of our time, is COVID, and the way we are restricted and we've lost our freedoms in life to meet our friends, neighbours, our loved ones, to carry out our normal life. And it's not until these freedoms go that we realise how much we miss them. So that's one of the key messages. It's known as Hag HaMatzah Hazer Zaman Chutoratenu, the festival of unleavened bread and our freedom. And at the end of the ritual meal, we particularly gather and we would say, next year in a world redeemed, next year in Jerusalem, meaning a fictitious Jerusalem, a free world. It's that message of freedom.
Yes.
So that's the key messages. And so it's really happy Passover to everybody. Hug Pesach Sameach, and make people have a peaceful and kosher Passover.
And I think there's something really important in the Passover, isn't there? Because it's shared also by Christians, because we go back to Exodus and the final steps in the Exodus before people were freed. So there is some commonality
completely for all people
in the scriptures.
Yeah.
Paul, I'd like to thank you today for coming along and explaining this. And I hope that
Yeah.
everybody in our trust that listens to this will learn something new today. And on Saturday evening, when Passover starts, remember all of our Jewish people that will be celebrating this feast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.